Oh, we blurry boys. What's up, everybody? Holy moly. I'm here. I'm a human face. Recognize me. Please. Please. Hello. It is me. You son of a gun. We gotta fix this. Did I turn off the autofocus on accident? No, I did not. Come on! You son of a gun. What have you done? Why must you be like this? Fine, we'll just do it manually. Hey, look! I'm not a fuzzy broccoli anymore. It's that easy. What if we turn the autofocus back on? Will you stay? Eh? I'd prefer if you did. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Getting Shit Done with Broccoli. That's me. Hello out there to all two of you in the chat on Twitch and anybody watching on Facebook and YouTube. This stream is not intended to be like instructional purposes, because I'm not going to pretend to know more than people who do this professionally for a living. But this is more of an accountability mechanism, because when I'm by myself, I just simply don't do things productive. So I started doing this to hang out with y'all and actually get some shit done. It's been an eventful week, I suppose. If you weren't here for the beginning of Monday's stream, I got a call from my boss, and it looks like I'm finally going back to work in the next couple weeks. So that's good. And hopefully we won't have to adjust the streaming schedule that much to adjust for that, but we'll see. I'm certainly going to become a lot more busy with doing actual work as well as juggling cinematic otherworld stuff and the streams. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we also, Cinematic Otherworld, speaking of, we dropped a video yesterday, and if you consider yourself a friend of mine, I would dearly appreciate if you went over and watched that and gave it some love. We put a lot of hard work into it, and it's I think it's pretty good content, if I do say so myself. Oh, that's fair. Well, okay, well, Cinematic Otherworld is... By the way, if you want to join the conversation, I'm only talking to Twitch chat, so if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I highly encourage you to head to that link right there and come join the conversation if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. And hey, look, a cat. What's up, Choji? How you doing? It's a hot day today, and of course when we mix we must close all windows and doors to eliminate any extra noise that may interfere with what we're hearing. So your boy's gonna get sweaty. Probably. Right? Alright. So what you heard in the beginning was two versions of the song. One version was essentially the rough mix of what Jack had sent me initially, which was basically what he had sent. I just put it all together and exported it, and that was that. And then the other one was our current mix that we've been working on. Can you tell which one's which? Make sure y'all are hydrating out there. Well, fine. Last time I tried something like that, I guess. So yeah, I spent the past hour listening to this mix on a variety of different. Oh, you cat! Don't do that! Don't do that, you jerk! What was I saying? Oh yeah, I've been listening to the mix on a bunch of different. I'm coming in pretty hot, aren't I? Um, I've been listening to the mix on a bunch of different mediums in the past hour. I was listening to it on my phone speaker. I was listening to it on the Bluetooth speaker. I put it in my headphones. I even went out to my car and listened to it in my car. And it's good when you're going to finalizing the mix to listen to it in a variety of different mediums because everything plays back a little differently. So there might be something that sticks out that you didn't notice that, like, on a professional system. Not saying what I have is exactly professional or entirely accurate, but yeah, we'll do it again when we get rolling here. Um, so yeah, it's good to listen to like as many different ways of playback that you have access to in order to get a good feel of what things might be sticking out on different systems, because obviously speakers are different sizes, they have different wattage outputs, they have different frequency resonation responses, and it's a whole lot of stuff that you wouldn't necessarily hear in like a pseudo professional environment. So before we get into what I heard from that, let's go ahead and A-B the two songs again and see if y'all can pick out which one's which. Which one's the artist mix and which one is the mix that we've been working on. Not gonna lie, that sounds pretty crazy in headphones. So that was one. And here's another one. Alright, so which one's which do you think? While you're guessing, so back to listening to it a bunch of different ways. The main thing that became very, very, aware of in the car is that the bass is actually quite loud, a little dominating, not so nice. We don't like it. The other one was essentially the artist mix, what Jack had sent me, just as the what he exported out of his FL Studio. So that was the biggest thing. It did give me another idea for a certain section, but first we address this bass issue. You are both correct. I think it's pretty easy to tell because one has a kick drum and the other one doesn't, to be honest. That's probably the biggest giveaway. So, this bass, it'd be too loud. How much lower do we want to turn it? Let's try about 3 decibels and see how subtle that is. So it's not really the base that's... Well, first of all, this needs to have some EQ on it. So let's zero in on this bass for a second. The sub is just too loud in general. So yeah, that sub needs to be significantly quieter. And this bass needs to give more room to the sub bass. This needs to be on this channel. So let's see. This needs a reduction over here. Oh, that has something to do. Could even go a bit lower. These pads need to be a bit thinner. Could the sub be even quieter, I wonder? It's possible. think we'll call that good. It's a strong sub, that's for sure. That's alright. I do think these high clicks need to come up ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. So I had an idea regarding this section. It's going to require another wide sweeping filter, but this time instead of a low pass, we're going to use a high pass filter, and we're going to have it engage right when that everything drops out to make the change even more dramatic. We want it on here, off here. It's a little abrupt. We can change that by moving this to here. It'll engage here. We'll show the automation of this. Oh, we're starting to get real busy with automation here. But it's going to look something like this. Yeah, it's pretty good, I'd say. Show automation new lane. We'll bump this up to over here. Have it come back down over here. Yeah, I think that's good. It's the little things that count, you know? And then the last thing I really want to get done before we move on to mastering it is really getting that freaking transition down. I don't know, I keep going back and forth on this thing of where it should be. See, it almost feels like it should be back here. Is that crazy? It sounds weird so far out of context. It's almost got to be even more abrupt. I think the timing's better, but we gotta do something different about this curve. I think it's something like this. Maybe. Well. That's better. It's better. Needs to be a little bit longer. Is that the right curvature? I wonder. I think it is. Maybe it is the other way. Is that it? If not, it's freaking close. Freaking close. Maybe. You never know. That sounds. I think erring on the side of faster is actually better. Welcome to mixing, where you listen to one specific thing a million times. Well, it's like you kind of have this idea of how you want it to sound, and so you're sort of like constantly referencing that in your brain, and then just like evaluating whether or not it's there when you play it back. And I mean, I have been doing this for quite a while at this point. Like, I've been producing music since like middle school with Eric, but also like actually like mixing and stuff. Like, I've done freelance mixing for people before. So you sort of develop like a super hypercritical ear, and like especially when you like know what to listen for, and it like gets to a point where it interferes with like casual music listening too, because it's like you're always like, for a while for me especially, it was like, here, let's get to the talkie talk. Okay. For a while for me it was like I was still learning, so I was like always evaluating the mixes that I heard in music that I would play to try to glean like how they achieved something or something else. And then like there came a period of extreme disillusionment when you realize that all the pop music is not only really simply written, but also the mixes aren't exactly like works of art. And I do kind of think of mixing as an art form, believe it or not. There's a lot of creative choices that you can make, that you balance with like technical choices following sort of guidelines of what things should do. But at the end of the day, no two people will, no two mixers will approach a mix or even like mix something the same way. They mix to their own sensibilities. But yeah, so like you just kind of pick up what you like from what you read on the internet, or I've been lucky enough to have a couple mentor figures in my life. Shouts out to Brock. He's been a big part of my audio education, and also to Corey at Troubadour Studios. I interned for him for a good long time, and I did pick up a lot of good stuff from him. And we're still friends to this day, I would say. But yeah, you just kind of you through constant almost abuse, you just kind of develop this selective hearing ability almost to really pinpoint how you want something to function in a mix. And for this, it's really more about timing. That's the biggest concern of this, just to give it that good like in time pause where it's still like, it's just because there's that sweet spot where it sounds like it's supposed to be there, and we're just about there, I think. I don't know what you think, Jack, but I think that's maybe, if we just put it like a smidge to the left, it'd be slightly there, but like I think that's it. That's the sweet spot, baby. Cool. only took us the entire 3 sessions to figure that one out. Was there something else to address before getting ready to master this? By the way, I shouldn't be mastering this. It's always the best decision to send a song to at least a different person to master, because when you mix it you do sort of get biased of what you're hearing. So it's always great to have multiple opinions on a mix, multiple ears on it, multiple critical ears, and then it's always best to ship off a mix to a separate mastering engineer, because one, a mastering engineer has way more experience in the field. Like, I don't think I'm very qualified to master anything, to be completely honest with you. And so the difference between like a mixing engineer and a mastering engineer will be like listening environment, equipment. Like, the mastering engineers are usually mixing engineers that have been doing it long enough to have acquired all the tools to really nail it down, and they'll have specific equipment that achieves like specific purposes. Like, if I had access to it, I would be taking this to where I work at LCC actually and running it through some of their analog processors that they have over there. But since I'm not back to work yet, technically, and I can't stream from there, we can't do that. So the ideal situation would be for me to have mixed it, like, in a situation where people have like money to put up for projects, like somebody like me should mix it and then ship it off to somebody more experienced. Like, I would honestly maybe send it to Corey and pay him for the master, because we have like that working relationship and he's got more experience than me, so, and better equipment and better ears, frankly. So that would be the ideal situation, but the ideal situation costs money, and we don't have any money, and we don't, like, I mean, the song's dope, but like, there's no prospects to potentially make money. There's no label backing this and providing funding and stuff, so like, obviously we're very indie at this moment in time, so we gotta do the best with what we got. And I do have like mastering software that helps me kind of cheat a little bit with a little bit of AI, but definitely not the ideal mastering situation or the ideal mastering person for this project. So let's listen through this one more time, see if there's anything we can pick out before we actually export this as is to get mastered. I'm going to switch back to speakers. super particular, but let's just take a little bit of the mids out of this thing. This thing being that white noise riser thingy. Yeah, I think that does the trick. So, unless you guys got anything, I think we're good to export this. Discuss while I pee and give my ears a break. And we're back. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, as long as the client's happy, I'm happy. So, Jack, if you are close to your keyboard and you have anything you want to say about the mix, now would be the time. Otherwise, I'm gonna export this and we'll move on to mastering. You know what's crazy? I was thinking, man, things seem kind of dry. The stereo imagery is all good and stuff, and, like, we're sounding nice and full. But the percussion especially was sounding kind of dry. I actually turned up the reverb, if you saw, on these high percussion parts. But then we come over here to convolution reverb, and I've been having this problem with Ableton 10 specifically, where sometimes with this particular plugin, it doesn't load properly. So there's like no reverb going on this track right now, which is bad. So we're going to have to do the old restart-a-reno. We'll save as mix, we'll call it mix 2.1. And we actually got to restart the old Ableton. And let's open the project directly. That was almost a disaster. There we go. See, where there once wasn't an impulse response. Right there, right next to me. Oh, hang on. Right there, right there. Right there. Nope, not right there. Son of a bitch. Right there. Where there once wasn't an impulse response, there is one now. And that's how you know it's working. Let's see how different this sounds. Wow. I don't know about y'all, but I already hear it. Here, let me turn it off and see if you notice the difference. It's like taking the jump from 2D animation to 3D animation. Glad we caught that. Oh, then you got good reference going on. All you need to do is start, listening critically, and then you could give me good feedback. think that changed a lot, honestly. Um, does it mean we need to make any dramatic changes in the mix? No. There's a cat in here. Alright, you'll forgive me while I go through this again with my headphones just to check some things. And I'm using SonarWorks. SonarWorks has compensation, obviously, for my room and speakers, but it also has, like, based off of the factory specs of my particular headphones, it also performs a little bit of an adjustment, which is cool. And you can actually, if you have the time to afford to do so, you can actually send in your specific headphones to get tested by them, and they'll give you a super custom adjustment template to put into your software, and that's pretty cool. Someday, perhaps. We can probably take care of this with a wide sweeping thing in mastering, but there's just a couple of high frequency tones in these particular instruments that cause a bit of distortion in the headphones and other playback devices. That was something else I noticed, but we can take care of that at the mastering stage. So let's export this baby. Alright, that's grand. So So the export settings are somewhat important here. I like to mix. Usually the final product will be rendered down to, so okay, well, let's talk about this. Let's see if I remember. Sample rate is the amount of samples that are digitally taken of a waveform. No. Yes. Let's see. Sample rate. Okay, I was right. Number of samples of audio carried per second. So, the usual sample rate that most things are delivered to for streaming and for CDs, even though CDs are pretty much dead, was 44.1 kilohertz. So that means every second there's 400,000. There's a whole bunch of slices per second. And, so generally the higher amount of samples per second, the more you can hear. But honestly, unless you're being like super particular or it's for something to do with syncing with video, you almost always mix down to 44.1. I like to start at 48 kilohertz, which is like a step above, just to catch a little extra stuff, but then I'll always export it down at the end product to be 44.1 hertz, because that's what most streaming services are going to play your stuff back anyway. So it's either like you put it down to that sample rate the way you want to do it, or you just let their algorithms and stuff potentially mess with your stuff. And that's a big thing with SoundCloud, especially, that I've wrestled with for a long time. So the two key things you look at when you're exporting is the sample rate and the bit depth. And the general rule is the highest bit depth that your computer can handle, the better. And it's usually between 16 and 32. And like, the bit depth is the amount of slices per waveform. So at a lower bit depth, you get a little bit of noise because the way that a waveform is sampled is it sends an impulse and then comes back. So if you have a waveform going like this, then you have your sample rate going like and hitting every spot and like measuring the distance, the amplitude of the waveform, and also the frequency over time in a second. So the blurry boy tries to explain some shit. Maybe the lighting is cursed. Hello, this is a human face. Hi. Can I... Whatever. That threw me off. So the bit depth is the amount of bits per waveform. So if you have 16 bits, it's going to be a little choppy because essentially there's going to be a period where it's not measuring the amplitude of the wave. So it just kind of sticks at the last measured point, and then it'll shoot back up and becomes kind of blocky, and that introduces distortion, which comes out as noise. And every track it's mostly imperceptible to most people, so even when we bounce it down to a lower sample rate and bit depth, it most people won't be able to tell a difference until you get into like real audiophile territory, and that's when like stuff is in FLAC format and stuff. It's uncompressed, and what we're gonna do is compress it a little bit, and that kind of eliminates little bits of information that help give the full representation of the sound. So our final product is going to be 44.1 and 16-bit depth. I usually export a mix at 4824 just for more of the more information for the master app plugin, whatever, to process and give a more desirable product. And it's also generally more, its encoders are generally a little bit better for the compression aspect. So it largely does depend on what the source material was. So if Jack's around and he could tell me what he exported his stuff at, which I think it was 2448, so we should be good, and we're going to roll with it. Honestly, I think Ableton's usual working bit depth, just like while you're listening, is 32, so we are slightly going to bounce down in bit depth a little bit, or perhaps not. But anyways, we're going to export it at 4824. We're not going to dither. We're going to talk about dither in a little bit. We just need to make it a wave, and it's all Gucci. We'll call this final mix. Oh! It always happens. You want to turn this off because the SonarWorks is actually applying corrections still, and you don't want it to be correcting for my speakers when it's playing back on like your headphones. We don't want that. No thank you. Alright, let's try this again. I feel like I botched the explanation of sample rate and bit depth, but whatever. I'm not an audio professor. How's everybody doing? Hope y'all are doing well. Alright. So now we save. We get out of full screen. And we leave Ableton for now, and we go to iZotope Ozone. So this is the mastering suite I have. It's made by iZotope. It's not the latest version, I don't think. I think they're up to like 10 now or something, but this is really nice. It's got a just like a handful of high quality processors, and it's got presets. If you were looking to fill like a certain vibe, we might play around with those. It's got this nice master assistant, which kind of does a lot of your work for you, but I mean, obviously you don't want to rely on that, but I generally start with that, and it puts you in a good spot to make some tweakages. So we got to get our export. There it is. So let's just go through some presets and see what looks good. Let's see what this is. Ooh, makes it real sharp. Ooh. Kind of like these vintage vibes. Ooh. Yeah, we're gonna have to take care of those problem frequencies for sure. I don't know. I think. Well, okay. Let's see what the mastering assistant comes up with. Most likely streaming. So this is interesting. Well, we got a wild EQ going on here. I'm not mad about bringing up the highs, but perhaps not that much. Okay, they did dynamics processing, but then turned it off, which is good because we don't need it. This is important. This probably already sussed out our problem frequency and helped us out a little bit because I knew it was going to be somewhere around here. And also it might be down here a little bit at the fundamental frequency. So, yeah, we got some good... I think there's a good basis to work with. And we'll take some informed choices from some of the presets we went through. For instance, I did like that warm vintage, bringing up the low mids to kind of thicken things up a bit. So if I can find an unused band... I'll bring you down over here a bit. I'll gain you up a bit. And your Q is going to be fat. So generally, what's the difference between mixing and mastering? Mixing is making everything sound good relative to each other and well balanced and well placed within the whole stereo field and everything. And it's also kind of an art form. Mastering is way more technical usually, albeit I am getting a bit creative with the master this time, which is fine as far as I'm concerned. But mastering technically is just preparing a mixed track to become commercially viable. So that means it's competitive volume. There's no crazy frequencies that pop out that'll like fry somebody's speaker or something. Um, it's within a good ratio of dynamic range. Like it's not gonna be like too quiet on some speakers and too loud on others. So it's certainly more technical, and there's requirements that you want to try to fill. But like I said, I'm not really a mastering engineer, so I just kind of go by the rule of, does it make it sound better? Yes, keep it. No, nix it. So this is everything off. Just makes things a little bit more distinct. And the AI did do a good job of finding our problem frequency, so I'm not mad at that at all. Actually, I don't feel like we need to touch any of this, honestly. Call me lazy, but I don't know. Just add a little fade at the end to smooth out our ending a bit. Beautiful. How does it start? Does it start good? Think so. I do want to try maybe a lesser degree. When did we peak? To add a little bit more curbing of those problem frequencies. Oh, shit. Okay. We want to make a new thingy. Give me band 5, please. We're gonna try down here first. See. That's right here. Better. Pretty good. I think we've done it, boys and girls. I think that's a song done and done. I'm gonna call it good enough. File. Export. Jack, please be in chat. He hasn't been for the past while. What's the title, buddy? What is the title of this masterpiece? That's a terrible title. We're going with the walk, ladies and gentlemen. The walk. Master. Bam. So, usually I would deliver this as a 44.1 24-bit, or no, 44.1 16-bit as a final product, which we may do if Jack decides to release this as a standalone thing in the future. But I do know that there's going to be a animated video made to this song, so be on the lookout for that. I'll be sure to post the link for it once it is completed. I'm just thinking of where to save. So that also changes how I'm going to export it for now. So we'll put it in the project folder. That'd be great. Lovely. So I'm actually, because I know it's going to be for a video, I'm actually going to keep it 4824 because that works better with the usual frame rate of videos and stuff. I will enable dither, and dither essentially introduces noise that helps counteract the distortion that's created when you bounce from one bit depth to another. So actually, because I exported the other track in 24, I don't need to enable dither. If I were to bounce down to 16, 44.1, then I would put dither on it because it just kind of helps smooth things out. So that's that. We have successfully completed a mix, everybody. Yay! Thanks to everybody who stuck by me all this time. I couldn't have gotten it done without you guys, which is in fact why I started doing this stream in the first place. So we will get that final product to Jack, and we'll save this just in case we want to revisit this in case of something we didn't anticipate creating a problem. Gotta pick the project path again. Who would have known that getting into music would be involving such tedious file management things. Save. Bam. Alright. Now we're going to dive back into Ableton. And I'm going to subject you to something that if anybody hangs out with me too long, they get subjected to, and that is a deep dive of the bastion of unfinished products. We're going to try to find... I should have done this beforehand, but this is more fun. We're going to try to find what we're going to mix next. So, let's see. Well, where do we start? I think we will start in the beats folder. Just trying to remember what is pretty much done. And you know what? Before we get into this, I'm gonna pee. All right. Are we ready for our next segment that we can call the deep dives? Let's let's try to let's try, I'm just going to try to avoid the real turds we got in here. I usually, when I do this, I go by file size to see how far along these tracks are, and if it's less than 100 kilobytes, it's probably just a loop. So, what's this? No. That we've already explored. Not here, but for Cinematic Otherworld. Oh, this looks interesting. This track, if you didn't read the title, is called Scattered Thoughts. Thank you for loading, Ableton. Oh yeah, there you go. I don't understand the question, Kook Soda, but I'm certainly not going to be able to afford a tattoo for a long time. Oh, this is big, but it's actually just a couple of loops. Well, I would be remiss not to play this out for you guys. Let's see what we've got. I think I know what this is. Yeah, okay, I know what this is. Oh god. That's pretty much all there is to this one, so I wouldn't say this is ready for a mix, personally. It do have potential, though. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's quite the buzz. Oh, that's why. No input, no input. No input. No input. No input. No input. No input. You son of a gun, why are you so buzzy? How dare you? How dare you? Oh, this definitely isn't something to mix. Oh, I know what this is. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's a nice chord progression, isn't it? Oh. This needs more to it, but this is definitely one that we will finish together in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much the extent of that one so far. So this is not suitable for mixing. Pretty groovy, if I do say so myself. What else have we got here? Oh no, media files are missing. Oh no, they're right there. Thank gosh. I'm gonna say right now, based off of the layout, I don't think I have a good feeling about this one. I've never thrown away a project, so some of these projects are from like damn near 10 years ago. This feels like one of those. Ooh. Ooh. This main noise is very aggressive. Ooh. Oh. This is an old song. It's not gonna drop. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Oh! That's a great sample. These kicks are pathetic. Yeah, interesting. Definitely not next. Like, there's some in here that are. I promise, there's some that are close to done. I promise. Like this one. Okay. Definitely not this. But maybe we make this the one that we finish for Halloween. Just gonna get the jump on finding our next one. Okay, alright. I just want to know what happens. I want to know what happens. Okay. That's very grating. This song is called Dave's a Dick. This is a candidate, for sure. This is more of like a beat though, so I don't know. The loop goes on for far too long. If I could come up with a good melodic line or some bars, that song would be about done. But it's a classic case of the loopies. I think I know what this one is, but we're gonna look at it, and I don't think it's gonna be a candidate, unfortunately. Nope, it's not. It's just a loop. It's nothing but a loop. Oh God. Oh no, make it stop. Oh, that's a turd for sure. Maybe this, there's one in here that I think is worthy. By golly, we're gonna find it. Oh, how come none of these are laid out, bro? This one's kind of cool. Kind of wild. Definitely not what I thought it was. That's for sure. Sure, let's look at this one. Oh, definitely not a candidate. Oh yeah, we're nope, not even gonna listen to that. That one is one that should might as well get thrown away, I think. This is a template. Stereotypical club beat. We'll save that just to keep the linkage of the, yeah, we'll replace it. Thank you. Oh, what's a good one? There was a good one somewhere. I don't think it's this one either. Nope. That's not what I thought it was. Maybe I'm just in the wrong folder, honestly. We'll go into the Candy Beats folder, see. There was one. There was definitely one. There's one out there that we will mix next. And we will find it. Oh, it's not this one. This one's pretty interesting though. I need a better organization system. This one is always hit or miss with me. Kind of like it on this listen through. But it also just kind of dissolves at the end. I don't know. I always get kind of disheartened when I go through this a little bit. It's like, so a lot of this is just hot and garbage. What was I just looking at? I think it's... Maybe this next one will be the one. Maybe. I think as of right now, that's our strongest contender. But that one's also a sort of special project, so I'll have to confer with my cinematic Otherworld boys for that one. Ha ha ha. Nope. There's like one specific one that I was thinking of that's like pretty much done that we could mix. But it eludes me. The title. This one is gonna be weird. This, I don't know if this one's actually out or not. It's not. This is like a score. Like this is like for a video game or a video, just background. I feel like so maybe we can mix this and market it as that. It's weird. I think this would need some arrangement touch-ups. Mainly, it needs to be shorter. It's groovy in its own way. That's probably an even stronger contender than the other one, I would say. What would you say? Anybody and everybody watching? Oh, I think that was the strongest one so far, but maybe this is the strongest one. Oh, this might be the one I was... No, it's not the one I was waiting for. Uh-oh. This actually might be the one. Wild loud. Okay. I would say this is the strongest, but I feel like it's missing something. It needs vocals or something. Can I think of vocals for this song and sing them? Like a melody or something. It's just like, it's a little loopy, you know? It's a good song, but it's just a little loopy. Maybe it's just a video game song and we leave it as is. Who can say? But that might be the one we target. I don't know. Between that one and the last one, what do you guys think is a better one to get finished? Oh. That one's fun. We're about to call it, boys, I think. Whoa, what is this? Oh, yeah, this is the longest intro in the history of anything ever. Probably not that one. That one needs to get chopped up. This might be the one I've been looking for the whole time. Name that tune. This was the one I was looking for the whole time. This is the one that I want to mix next. I think we're gonna aim for this one. This one we're gonna do some more than just mixing two, just to get it to be finally ready for mixing, but this will be our next target, I think. Raise your hands if you agree. Aim for this one. This one. Hey, stop that. All right. We're calling it. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Good to see you. I'm probably going to wait to start a music creation stream on a separate day until after I start working again and seeing how that works out. And also I have this incredible backlog of trash, as y'all have seen. And some of it's worth finishing, some of it isn't. So a lot of time will have to be devoted to figuring that out. Until next time, peace out.